everybody, this is the Mole Rayhan report from Nora on the Wayfarer project in Worm Unlimited. This is my first video. I am a rather shy player, mostly, but I have decided to join forces with Wayfarer, Zortz, Romney, and the rest. I've been playing for about a month, and I started in Mole Rayhan because that's where I have had experience. And if you play the adventure server, you will see that it's the same no matter which instance you play. If you play on your home server, it will be the same as it is here. I just wanted to come up and show you this nice flat little area. I flattened this area out, and then I realized to make a tower or something, I think it'd be pretty. But I happen to see this unicorn. He's purple. I'm not gonna tame him or anything because that's not something I really do very much. I eventually will. We have a nice oak tree. I suppose we could get more oak seeds here, but this area is flat, and it's got a little road that I built to go down to the guard tower, so it's easier to find the guard tower. Anyway, Hearth is our starting town in Mole Rayhan, and right now we have our two deeds in Hearth. There is my deed, which is Cravel Nook, and it's north, and I put a little sign in the area. I don't really like the sound of these fire turrets, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time in Hearth. If you notice, right over here to the right, there's El Canyonero. That is Wayfarer's large cart that he parked here. There is a trader, and the trader has a Cannon Ash. He's way back in there. You can kind of see I'm highlighting on him a little bit just to see in the back behind that house, the trader's house, is a trash heap. There's a fountain, and the village recruitment board, the guy who you can talk to get all the training instructions. This High Hall of Ash is a empty building, which I suppose for meetings. And here's where you find the lovely refreshments guy. And if you are a player, I'm too experienced to ask for his help because I've been playing Worm on the server for a while. It's been a few, almost 2 months, pretty close to 2 months. And I was able to contribute right away because I knew where I was doing. I have put 1,000 hours into Worm beforehand. It's amazing, even with this game, and playing it for 1,000 hours is still a lot I do not do much and do not know. So when you start, say you're starting a new server and you're starting in the area of Hearth on an adventure server, you'll just see this as a road, and it stops about here, and then you can kind of do whatever you want to from there. So I thought, well, okay, I'll put a load down for the guard tower, and I'll start you start kind of with the procedure of cutting down trees, because you start with a hatchet, and you don't start with a cart or horses or anything. You start with yourself, a hatchet, a shovel. So you end up with, you won't have these fancy tools. You're going to do a lot of this. You're going to do a lot of cutting down of trees, and you have to keep cutting it down. You get 3 in a row. You might take the log if it's a bigger log, which that one's not a big one. You would do a lot of cutting down. You might notice it says the word comma right here on the cut down. That's my keybind. This is not meant to be a tutorial, but just kind of a rougher start. But you take the big trees down, you right click, you hit them down, and then you bash destroy. You kind of do this for a while you're getting a path somewhere. You don't have to. Sometimes I find it easier to build the roads as you go. So I have decided to call myself the Department of Transportation of Mole Rayhan, because it feels like that's what I was doing. Although I'm not the expert tunneler of Mole Rayhan, that is Zortz. Zortz's alt, Zortan's honor. Back in the back you see the guard tower. The guard tower has been waving and having fun with us. Let's chop this up. So I probably need to go into my settings and make it so that it doesn't automatically move. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Let's do this quickly with my keyboard binds. And then I have a decent enough skill level. My axe is my hatchet's 46. My wood cutting is 56. So I'm not horrible anymore. I'm getting up to 80 on my quality of my logs. That's good. You start off the game with like quality of 20, and you have a lot of ones, and it's fun to start from scratch. Anyway, these carts are just sitting here in the road because once I got the stuff to build crates are sitting in the middle of the road, and then we decided to put some stuff in them, and then we haven't done much with them. I am going to open this log pile, open my big cart. I call my cart Nora's Notables. I don't know. I'm trying to be cute and make this kind of roleplay and kind of, just kind of grounded, but also fun. And not heavy role playing by any means. But you'll see some various signs and stuff from me. Right now I've got 2 large crates in my cart. And I kind of divide up the crates. I don't know. I had the 5 small crates. Anyway, as a starting player in Hearth, you're sure welcome to come back to this area where we've built the road. I built the road for a while. Zort's built the road out to his tunnel, and we won't do his tunnel at the moment, but I just want to get a new player to the Hearth area to show you what has been done. It's looks like it's done, but it's really not. We have all this area. There's a lot of animals that like to spawn over here. The venerable fat cow is right here. Let me brush the cow. I'm not going to be, or maybe not. It just worked. Groom the cow. I am not as fastidious as Wayfarer might be in terms of the grooming. He seems to get rattled for that. I get rattled rattled in a good way. Heckled in a good way for all the items in my cart being disorganized and extra. But say you want to start the game with some supplies to start the game. Well, we've kind of built a small beginning area. Back in the corner is lower quality iron, where that lamp back here, and right over here I happen to find an iron vein and it's utmost quality. So it will go up to somewhere in the 90s. My mining is 50. I don't know why I leave this on all the time. I should change it. You can do skill trackers, and I like the skill trackers for mining. I've got a forge in here. I'm not gonna be upset if anybody I leave a frying pan in here. I don't know why I decided the saucepan as well. I don't tend to use the saucepans. I remember watching Gamester for Lives videos where he had a lot of cauldrons, so I thought I would try that. There's tin, and I think there's sandstone. There's rock salt, not sandstone. Rock salt in the corner. There's sandstone down that wall. We're not doing a mine tour. And it's not all the way reinforced. I am not... Did I say I'm not fastidious? I'm not fastidious. When I start playing and I'm starting to figure everything out, everything goes in piles of dirt and piles of logs everywhere. And sometimes I remember to clean them up. The one thing that you might have noticed is that you have decay and quality. You start with different quality levels. You start with the starting tools are different quality levels, and as you skill up, you get better. That is the cool part about this game. It is the awesome part about this game. I just call this the tunnel entrance, the Zorton tunnel. It would be funny and possibly accurate to call it the long windy tunnel of death and destruction, or the long windy... I think I called it the Tunnel of Doom one time when we were playing. There's clay in the corner over there, so if you want to make pottery and sell to the trader, it's a good idea. We're going to take a tour back along the Hearth area to my deed for the moment. Tell you some plans. You can make signs, but you have to have the the small anvil and they have to have access to iron. I didn't leave a small anvil there, but you have iron, so you should have access to get a small anvil eventually. We have a buddy. Well, buddy's the fun word for what I'm going to say. It's not actually accurate. He's not a buddy by any means. There is a giant that lives in the west somewhere. Here, there's a bear. We're gonna just avoid the bear. Oh, that's right. I do not like the sound of that. Which is why we didn't come in here for very long before. I noticed a couple places where Hearth is a little bit exposed, and it's because of our giant friend. He's chased down Zorts a couple of times, killed them at least once. The strategy that I have went to get away from him is to go to a tunnel, because he won't be able to go underneath the tunnel. But right here, there's a wall that's kind of missing. I didn't even notice this because I never come back here. I don't go to Hearth very often. I thought I would show you Hearth here today. And this back was past our instructor guy and our trash heap. And the palisade. Down here is a boat, which you can have permissions if you ask Wayfarer. I have permissions, but I still haven't really used the boat. And there's that wall supposed to be there. It got knocked down by our friend Kyclops. Kyclops is one of the giants in the game. Anyway, there's a little bit of small amount of whimsy, I hope. This chair is a reminder not to move the chairs around inside Hearth, because as soon as you do, the game decides you can't put it back, because then all of a sudden you're adjusting something in Hearth. You can move them around to move them, and then you're stuck with them. Which, it's fine. Not worried about it. It's just weird. So I decided to leave it there and leave it as a resting place to say, hey, I didn't steal this item. Please don't kick me off your server. That was me when I first did that. I'm like, oh, whoops, I didn't want to do that. The back way to the gate, to the guard tower is here. Up there is, I think you could, about at the point where you see that iron lamp is where the guard tower people will reach. And I keep bringing up the guard tower because that is the strategy you use when you're really weak and you're starting out the game. I kind of had to hang around Hearth for a while. I got to know Zorts because he hung around Zortan. He got to know he hung around Hearth as well until he got through his mine. And I hung around for a while till I got through to my road that I have here. And I thought about making a little area out here, so I started building out a little bit of these ground. But you do the technique of you cut down the tree. Oh, and I didn't show you the second part of the technique. You cut down the tree and then you pack the road with your shovel. So you use a hatchet and shovel to give yourself a what's that? Oh, it's a red mushroom. I don't care about red mushrooms. They don't seem to do much for you. I don't tend to use mushrooms in my cooking. I could. This is a nice, pretty area. It is not inhabited. I'm starting a road. It may be said, I'm considering myself the Department of Transportation. I like building roads and flattening land and all that stuff, and I haven't gotten super far on this. But if you would follow this area around the shoreline, which I'm starting to flatten and eventually get packed ground. Okay, let's show you the process of getting a shovel highlighted, packing the ground, and then you happen to have oh, say that 5 times fast. You could do rounded stone, but that would look different than the other road we got, which I don't want to do. You need to have some stone bricks that you've made with the rock stars that you have collected, and I do not have any with me. I carry a lot of stuff, but not always. If you follow this shoreline around a little bit, you'll run into some tar. So it's back that way. We're not going to go all the way back this way. As you can see, the area right down here is more flat. You can always cut down trees. The reason I worry about the flat land is because if you get it too much to the ankle, you decide to you climb and you lose stamina. And you could do that, and I'm trying to work on my stamina. Stamina's not super big for me, it's not a super priority. But what I'm deciding to do in this game, and I did it last game, and I could make it the way that if you've been watching any of the streaming videos or videos of Zortz and Romney, they've been making these little canals, and so the area on a road has water going across it, and then you can throw your boat over it. I am going to dig this out, which I've got it mostly dug. It starts off with a little bit more land. Okay, decent amount more land. And again, my whimsy here. I thought I was being cute with these signs. It says canal and bridge. Fall of 986 estimated. So if I go down here to time, it says it's the starfall of digging in 985, and I think we're still in spring. I don't remember those off the top of my head. But the point is I'm going to make a bridge over top of here. So not only we're going to make a canal, we can maybe even make it deeper. This is going to be a trap because it's right by this Mulrayhan guard tower. So it's really only going to be in use for Mulrayhan visitors. I'm going to dig this out so that this, where you see the tree, maybe even one more, I don't know, possibly. We'll see how far I need to dig out based on the size of the but this is, going to be a canal, and then I'm going to make a bridge. I'm going to arch it over the top. Which part of why I haven't sunk this below the ground yet? I don't know why. I've got some creeks here. Again, they were from when I really was starting new, but it's also good to have a place to have area. So here's the Mulrayhan Pass. I'm coming up with something cute name. This area, when you start, is all full of thorn bushes. You can kind of see some in the background. Here, if you're looking for cedar, I don't know the south very well because I've been on the north a couple times. I knew this area from when I played on my own server a lot, and I hadn't gotten a chance to explore too much south. I'm not an explorer. I'm not a wayfarer. I mean, I kind of am, but not really. But this was all like thorn bushes. See those thorn bushes back here? I'm not gonna click on them. There's thorn bushes all up and down here. And you know what is a good skill building for wood cutting? It's cutting down thorns, because you get thorns. They are not here. You just have to not run into them. And then all of a sudden you have less thorns and your skill goes up. And you're also making it look prettier as well. So if you want to play a fresh game of this, come over here and or maybe plant thorns. I don't ever sprout thorns, so I don't ever generate new ones. But what I think I was going to say that I forgot, if you like cedar, and cedar because it decays and stuff like that, I'm kind of paying attention to it, but kind of not. This is an area to go for. Now, obviously, don't take them off of my deed necessarily. I'm not really a huge orchard person. But here's where I'm at on my deed right now. I got 2 levels in my house. Working on the 3rd. Not sure how to do the 3rd. I finally put up fences. I was letting my little horses that I made just all run around, and it was fun, and I go find them, and I go rope them and bring them back. But then I just started not finding them, and I started getting frustrated. And I kind of don't like this. I thought I tried Indeed Planner, the high iron fence. I don't know. It's pretty, but it's kind of a block. It's also kind of an eyesore. So this is one of the horses that I made, and I'm not really good at checking, and this is bad, because this is one of my first horses. I actually have her pregnant right now for another horses. I love the color of this one. She is feeble and unhealthy, but it's really gorgeous color of horse. Start off with gray mostly. They're mostly common. And then anything that's pregnant I kind of put in here, or small. And then there's some, oops, there's an egg. Hey, chickies, awesome. I don't do much cooking with the eggs like I could. Anyway, so this is my area. I call it Crevalle Nook because it's kind of in a nook, because you have the water over here. You have the water over here. We're kind of nudged in between. There is a hill up here where I've started a mine. It's not on deed, so technically anybody could get into that mine at the moment. I'm starting to make, this is all now flat to a point, and we'll see what that goes. I'm starting to make the a area for sailing off of this side, and then there's a dock back on that little I don't know if it's an atoll or I don't know. I do not know I'm landlocked in real life, so I don't know much of my water but terms. But there's that little olive tree grove on a little peninsula type thing. So this has been flattening for a while. I dug out for the building a little bit, and I dug out little rows here and there. And when Wayfarer was doing a test, he came to my server and he looked over it, or to my deed, and he's like, there's there's a Garterra that I built. I mean, it's not hard. It is hard, but it's not hard to build a cart. It's tedious a little bit. But I needed to expand the influence of the kingdom so that I could build and grow out, and also give myself some safety. There's horses and cows. I like having the animals kind of hang around. Anyway, this is rounded stone mostly. Right now, I don't do very much with it. I want to try to do some more, I want to make this open in this front area. But I think I need to have it as ladders. Ladders are cheap. They don't take very much to build. Something like one small nails and like 5 planks, and that makes you that for the ceiling. Well, for the floor above, they call it the ladder. Build ladder. So I don't know how long I need to keep the ladders in here. They're temporary in this front area. So this front area would be where my food is, my oven and my food storage bin. I finally built a larder. I've got a rack, but I only have one thing on the rack. And apparently the rack that you make for the big the BSBs, the bulk storage bins, that's like high fine carpentry. Don't ask why the raft is here. It was in my cart. But I made some crate racks, excuse me, and I've got a barrel rack, but I don't have the bees. Oh, I didn't see the bee question. And somewhere in here, I've got a lamb hanging around because he's not diseased anymore. Okay, good. I can take him and put him with his buddies, but not yet. Let me brush him. He was diseased. And I put some, I don't know. This was a temporary stopgap solution because I only had the one pen and I didn't want him to be mixed up. Let me take that and see if I feed it to him. And he doesn't have to eat it out of my hand. I just noticed I feel better if he doesn't want it. I realized playing this time around that you can do things like pull things into piles. And you don't have to have it open. I always had to have things open before. So, okay, anyway, I want to empty my food storage bin items. And I think I stuck them all on resources. No. I did not. I stuck them in boxes that I didn't keep. And sometimes I just put like my log, see, I'm kind of haphazardly dashing, but I start off really disorganized and I become more organized. My my log's only 30. It's quality. It's matching some of the quality levels of some of the other things in here. I'm going to put it together with that. It's not going to change very much. And so there's my, and this is where my loom is. I'm going to have to put some kind of storage around the loom for cotton. One of Gamster's tricks that is actually starting to drive me bonkers is that you do your quality levels by numbers. So everything that's low quality, 20 or less, ends up in this box. But that means I could have arrow shafts, I could have brass lumps, I could have sandstone slabs, I could have square pieces of cloth. Hard to gauge what you have when you do this way. This is just because I haven't started off organized. I can eventually organize myself and do better. So this is the main part of my house. I did the interior walls for the first time. I did the right and left arch. I'm feeling very proud of that. Because it was fun. And I finally, just a little bit ago, made a bed. And so these are my temporary ladders in here. Because I'm envisioning this section where my oven sticks out to be up at least this high. I haven't built this ceiling on this side, so I don't know. I mean, it's not. I want maybe. I think this one needs to go. I'm making a decision still. So it's probably not fair to show you things in progress, but you know what? Worms, everything is always in progress. Always, 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 always. And then there was an area down here that was. I took it from Wayfarer's idea to just have some archies. This was an outer wall, and actually this is the inner wall, and it's got a locked door for any possible troll attacks. But these are going to be permanent ladders in this room. And so right now, I just have the start of a building wall plan on the 3rd floor. My carpentry, since you're going to ask, you might not ask, is 60 by itself, but then I'm doing a lot of masonry work in here, so it's 66 to do masonry, and that's gotten me this big of spot with the walls. But then, yeah, this opening is because I don't know if this is going to be permanent for or not. I think what I might do is I've never done fences on here. I don't remember if it would be, okay, I could do fence. Okay, that's how you do fences on here. I would like a rope fence and just leave that area open. So I have like some spots here to work around. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what all areas I'd like to do. I'm thinking. Oh, and if any of you saw Wayfarer's video of the going up and down the horse thingy, he talked me into doing that kind of. Well, not really. I talked myself into doing that. I was thinking about putting the forge out here, and that's why this was the big temporary. The one thing, I mean, I don't really like the look of these arches up high. I mean, kind of. And then I know there's that T, and maybe I'll have to do the T. Maybe that's what I'm going to try to do on the top, the T area. I like the double, but I don't know that it looks good on the upper levels. Maybe it is, and maybe it's fine, and I'm just overthinking it. So I overthink everything. So that's most of my deed. I tend to use my little cart a lot, so you'll see me with the cart all the time. Let me not use the cart. I always feel like I have less tools. See, I carry around a lot of tools, and my body strength's not too bad. I do a lot of digging and a lot of, maybe not a lot of mining. I think Zor's done a lot more mining than I have. But your body strength and masonry stuff, you end up with a strength where you can carry 246 before you stop. And that's still going to get better. So I made this little, this wasn't here. None of the roads were here. That's so fun. Guys, it's so fun to do all this fun stuff. There's my tar. Fill the tar and go get my backpack open. Wish the backpack would stay open. Light the guard tower spot. This is obviously going to eventually be over. Oh, the tower guard can go that far. Good, I did not know that. I guess I could count the blocks, but that sounds boring. I found some clay and I leveled it up, and I leveled this up to make a road here, and I have no idea why that's so low. Huh. Because I don't remember that being low. I remember it being the same height as everything else. Maybe that was me. I don't know. Then there's marsh back here, and do you hear that fire sound? I turned down my sound on my game a little bit, but marsh go really slow. I can get rid of the marsh by using floorboards. I just have to like have nails and boards and stuff like that, and I will do that. But I hear fire sounds, and I don't have a fire going. But I think there's fire lava spiders that live over a ways. And so that's kind of the back area, back behind where I live, kind of, I guess. There's a lot of cherry trees in this area. I think that's all rock and not peat. In the shadows, it's hard to tell. You can see, so I talked about the giant a little bit, you can see the giant on the mountains. And you can see him going, moving around and stomping around the mountains. When I see the giant, I run to the mine, and I haven't been killed. Zortz has been killed by him. I have not. Hopefully I will not, but we'll see. So this is my part of Mulrayhan. This was just a general tour. I'm trying to test out how the recording software works and how the whole uploading thing works. I'm kind of shy. This is kind of weird for me to do. It's kind of weird for me to even start the video and play the game with other people. I tend to be a play by myself player. But Wayfarer is so chill. He used the word ASMR in a video. And I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, kind of. I can kind of see that. I put a little sand over here to make a little sand pit. Oh, sorry if that's a little fast. I decided to mark out my deed so I can visually see where the corners are. So, deed here, and then I've been working on getting some of the extra trees out. And I got an almanac. I have a really hard time killing all these like horses and cows. I just kind of leave them there. Did I show you this? I don't think I did. So I'm trying to build Whimsy into my game. So up ahead I have the Dead Horse Fire Oak mine. This is the mine I made for myself. You can see the oak tree in the distance. So that's kind of like the starting landmark. Look for the oak tree, go up to where the oak tree is. He is very old and he is sprouting, so we will. Ooh, I like the fact that he's sprouting. We'll pick a sprout. Oak trees have that thing. There's a cow up there. And right now I have my mine entrance as a rock. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of reinforcements because they don't tend to break that often. And if you do, as long as you always have a pickaxe, which I always do. If you want to build your own groups, right click on the inventory, add a group, and then call it something. Like call it bowls, or let's call it coins. Because I put a few coins in here. So it's not like a purse, it's just a dividing thing so that your little UI is not so much. Oh, see, I have a horse hanging out in my mine. I'm just kind of waiting for her to die. I think she's mother of one or two of my animals in there. She's venerable. It was funny the day that one of the days I was on that I actually was listening to through Discord, Wayfarer and Swords. We had the horse apocalypse, and the dead horse mine. In my mind, I have a fire oak because the fire always sounds like fire. Although I didn't hear fire as much this time. I might have scared some of the fire animals away. You can kind of hear fire underneath, but I think that sounds like normal. Let me try to do this quickly here. Sort of quickly. I usually do. I have, as you can see up here, I'm almost at 40 on my logic, and it's so exciting. Don't ask me why. It's exciting because I can do 5 hatches at a time and not just 4. I was so excited when I got to 4 because you start off at 20 and then you move to 30. And some items and some actions do it faster, and if I was smart I would have done F sleep and use my sleep bonus. I didn't have my sleep bonus for a lot of days starting out because I didn't have a bed. You have to have a bed, and you have to have it inside, and you have to have it made, and you have to have fur, and I mean, I'm a hoarder, kinda, in-game hoarder. Video games is a great way to hoard items because you don't have to have them in your house, except hoard too many, and then you're gonna gum up the system, and that won't be fair to Wayfarer. Anyway, excuse me while this is kind of boring. I'm sitting here blathering on. I don't like the silence. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah. So if you don't have your mind reinforced as often, you get that more often. So, as you can see, it looks very rough. My mind. I don't do the down and straight, and I don't know why those guys do. I'm starting to figure out the value of doing. I got rock shard piles in there that I probably should get to. I got an iron vein over here. I'm putting these hanging lamps more. I used to only use the other lamps, and this iron torch lamp is in front of the lead vein. There's some other sandstone or something back there when I have the other thing. I've been trying to put the reinforcements in the corners, and as you might have not noticed because I went really fast by it, you can see down in the corner it says you leave Mulrayhan, you enter Mulrayhan. So if I had another guard tower, that is gonna either 1 or 2. If I have one around the mountain, then it will keep this in Mulrayhan. I built a smelter. You have to have a high enough masonry to start a smelter. I built a smelter for Zorts to be nice, because and he found me copper as a thank you, kind of. In his mine, I haven't found copper in this mine yet. And then I've got an iron vein here and a forge, and in my forge here, I've got stuff. Let me eat this. I've noticed that when you put the meals in the frying pan, in the forges and in the ovens, it doesn't take the same amount of damage. So if I don't want to one day do an action, I will, or do some cooking, I will leave it there. So I could I could restore. I've never done restore, so I don't know what that is about. It has to do with the archaeology. You can do so much. Holy cow, this game is so expressive. I think I had some supreme rock shards that might have decayed, so I put it down. Sometimes I don't understand myself, but that's okay. I have fun. I started mining there, and I think I just stopped for whatever reason. There's if you look at my map, let's orientate you, orient, whatever the word is. Let's get you settled to where I know where things are. Okay, so this is where Wayfarer seemed to play, and based on where I've noticed, this I think is where they're at. I don't know that that's accurate. I think Invicta Point is somewhere else. Maybe here, actually. Probably Invicta Point is there. So, excuse that, Miss Dunn. Liara's got a marble, with marble and a lighthouse. Wayfarer's up there, right north of Winkshire. Zorts seem to be kind of back behind there. There's a bear mine, and that's where there's a wall over here. And, you know, I haven't spent a lot of time on Jen Kellen. I have an alt over there, and he's kind of, or she's kind of, not been doing anything. This is kind of where somewhere in here, the altar 3. This might not be accurate, but I had to put something up there because I'm trying to ask them where it was. And Zorts is good. Zorts and I talk a little bit with the numbers on the sides and getting that. Down here is Littlecania, and now I don't know from here because I don't have an alt down here and I haven't talked to her very much. Liara made a Horde of the Summon character, so that's in the south, and then the Dark Light is down that way. Right here is where I believe there to be, I know there is because I talked to Wayfarer and he said there's Dead Troll Peninsula, and we're gonna have a central marketplace, because what we ended up doing was having some people over here, and if you see a lot of the videos with Wayfarers or Romney, they're generating over here. If you see any tours of Liara's Horde of the Summon Estate, they're going to be down in the south area. And if you see, like, this is where we were, we walked all the way up here. This is my Cravel Nook area here. I have had a estate here in the past, and we'll see if I can re-clear it up. I died trying to go over there because there was too many monsters when I started. And then there's, I called it, oh, the Mine of Doom. That's why I should have named it. The Mine of Doom tunnel through. And so somewhere on the other side of Hearth is a tunnel, and it goes through here, and Zorton has his spot here. I put these as pluses because they were people I knew. I don't know. You can annotate this by adding an annotation and adding a thing here. I found when I was playing on my own, I found if I would right click here, I would say like Copper 94. And I would put that as a certain color, and so then I would always know that Copper 90 whatever would be there. So it's, look at all this land down here south of Hearth that we haven't explored. This is an area where Zorts is building. He said there's scorpions down this way. I need to go over there. One of the reasons that this is my canal area. Look at how narrow it is on that map. I zoom in. Look, zoom, zoom, zoom in. This is where I'm trying to dig out. Right there. Maybe I should put a little annotation here. Let's call it the Mulrahan Canal and Bridge. And it's going right there. So we walked down here, and we walked over here along the edge. And I am building my out here. That'll be my boat area, but I could also have another boat back here. And if I get the canal going, I am going to make a bridge. But to do that, you need to have a dioptra. And the dioptra has to be made out of bronze. And the dioptra is made with, dioptra. Okay, so you need the dioptra to make the bridge. You have to first have the protractor and the sight. The protractor has to be brass and has to be made with an anvil and brass. Oh, I hate how this does not back up very well. If only this would just back. Dioptra. Somehow I remember dioptra better than I remember the other parts to it. The sight has to be bronze, so brass and bronze. So I needed to have copper and tin to make bronze, and then obviously the other one would be brass, and that's going to be copper and zinc. And so between the two of us, this is why I was grateful that Zort 10 found me copper. My copper level is really low. My dioptra, like metallurgy, is another skill that if you need to make brass and bronze, you have to build that up. And the last thing I need to do is to get the cochineals, because you need a range pole. And the range pole, if you look on Wikipedia, is red and white. It's a white pole dyed with red stripes, and red comes from cave bugs, which I have not seen any, and also from scorpions. So I need to get off my behind and go find some scorpions. Usually where there's a high area of sand. I saw one early, about the time I died. Anyway, I need to leave. This is a very long video for a first time video. Hopefully I didn't go too fast or make it hard, and just kind of give you another way to play. It's my own tour, from my own perspective. I think Wayfarer wants to give a tour. He's like, do it once you get done with your house. But I couldn't wait. So I got the tools to do it now. I'm starting to put some of my bushes up. I guess this is kind of inspired by things that you've seen. Like right now, it's grass, but I will forage for anything. I do this usually with a keybind. I just right click, and then I cultivate, and then this becomes the flat area for my crops, and they're kind of tiered. I just was trying something new. I don't always have the most aesthetic ideas, but I like that this house is not square, and I want to do as tall as I can on the front. Liara was saying something about it maybe only being able to be 4 high. I don't know if that's accurate. She said she had really high carpentry, so I'm assuming that is accurate. Or maybe she was going too big. I don't know. So I think I showed you around my deed and from how to get there from Hearth. I play at a strange time from everybody else, so I don't tend to be on with everybody. Or like I'll play in the afternoons or early mornings of the weekends, and everybody is not there yet. And then as soon as they get on, I have to go. So it's fine. Again, I'm kind of a shy person, which is weird that I'm doing a video. But it's also not super unlike me to try something new to see how it works. And this game is really cool. It takes a special kind of person, because you're gonna right click and you're gonna do things. So I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna forage, or I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna check for overaged trees and prune them, or like this one's sprouting. That's why I like having the almanac. What are tools? I was able to get an almanac. Right now we are a month from roses and lavender, and I know there's a bunch of lavender on the other side of this mountain that I haven't gotten to. So I love the colors of the lavender flowers on this server. So pretty. So I might show up here. Although I could do that now and sprout them, but yeah. So anyway, it was nice to have you, and I look forward to meeting you, and hope you enjoyed the Morehan tour of Nora's area. Maybe I will fill you in and we'll do another video. Alright, goodbye for now.